Okay, let's apply the unit circle. We're going to look at this assignment and talk about what this means. Now, first off, this says cosine of 135 degrees. Well, we learned in 7.2 that there is a new definition of cosine, which is x over r. That's the definition we learned at the end of 7.2. And remember, I told you a little memory trick to memorize this is we pretend we're pirates. That's where our treasure is. That's the hole we want to dig, and x marks the spot. That's how I always remember that cosine goes with x. Well, in the unit circle, remember, r is always 1. So I really need to do is just go to 135 degrees on my unit circle and find the x value. So let's go up to our unit circle. Where's 135 degrees? There it is. Let's find my x value. There it is, -1 over root 2. So my x value is -1 over root 2. But anything over 1 is just itself. So my answer is really that. So really what we can get at is this definition of x over r. When we're talking about the unit circle, r doesn't matter because on the unit circle, all r will always be 1, and dividing by 1 never changes anything. So we can really just remember that cosine is my x value. So let's do another example of this. Let's look at number 4. This one says cosine of 45. Well, I know cosine is my x value. So I'm going to go to 45 degrees on my unit circle and find the x value. And that's going to be my answer. So let's go up here, 45 degrees. There's my x value on my 45 degrees, 1 over root 2. So that is going to be my answer. Okay, let's try a sine one, number 3. Remember, we remembered that sine is the y value because you can draw a little y using that I. So if sine is the y value, it's actually y over r, but once again, r is just 1 because it's the unit circle, so it doesn't particularly matter. So I'm going to go to 300 degrees on my unit circle and find my y value. And that's my answer. So let's go up to 300 degrees. There it is. There's my y value, -√3 over 2. So that's my answer. Okay, let's try a tangent. Let's do number 15, tangent. Now, remember, tangent is special. Tangent is y over x. That's something that you just need to memorize. So I'm going to go to 5 pi 6, and I'm going to find my y value and divide it by my x value. So let's find 5 pi 6 on our unit circle. There's 5 pi 6. So I'm going to do my y value 1/2 divided by my x value, -√3 over 2. So let's go down here. My y value was 1/2 divided by my x value, which was -√3 over 2. Now, this looks pretty gross. So we're going to do our leave, flip, change rule. Leave the numerator, flip the denominator, change the division to multiplying. That's leave, flip, change. And now we notice I have a 2 on bottom and a 2 on top that cancels. So I'm left with 1, there's a negative in front, and a √3 on bottom. And that is going to be my answer for tangent. Now, that one's kind of weird. So let's do another one. Let's try number 11. Tangent of 225. So it's still y over x. Let's go to 225 and find our y value and our x value. see, 225 is right there. So my y value and x value are both negative 1 over root 2. So let's come over here. Y value, negative 1 over root 2, divided by x value, negative 1 over root 2. So leave flip change, leave the numerator, flip the denominator, change the division to multiplying. And now I have a root 2 on bottom and a root 2 on top that are going to cancel. And I have a negative times a negative, which is going to make a positive. So this is actually just going to be a positive 1, because I have a 1 on top and a 1 on bottom. 1 divided by 1 is just a positive 1. Let's do one more example of tangent. Let's do tangent of 270. So still y over x. So let's go up to 270. There's my 270. My y value is negative 1. My x value is 0. So let's go here. My y value is negative 1 divided by my x value, which is 0. Well, can I divide by 0? No, I can't. So this one is actually undefined. Doesn't work because I can't divide by 0. And that's how you're going to fill out all of these. Super fast, just look at your unit circle and pull out the x or the y value. So your homework is 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 17, 18, 19, 20. Just looking at the unit circle on the other page and pulling the x and the y values out. You do have 4 other problems. You have 37, 38, 39, and 40. And I wanted to go over an example of how these ones work. So let's show you 41. Now, read the instructions. For the indicated point, tell if the value of sine or cosine is positive, negative, or neither. So let's look at 41. 41 says cosine. Well, I know that cosine is always my x. So I want the x value, excuse me, at point B. So let's find point B. Here it is. Is the x value of that point going to be positive, negative, or neither? Well, that goes with these signs that we put on our unit circle. So if I want the x value at point B, well, point B is both going to be positive. So that x value is going to be positive. Okay, let's try sine of f. Well, sine is my y value, so let's look at point F. There it is. My y value is going to be negative. Let's try sine of E. So sine is the y value. Now we look at E. Well, wait a second. The y value at E is 0. So that one's going to be neither. Not positive or negative. And that's how you do 37 through 40. So that should be all your homework problems. You should be good to get started. That's it. Good luck.